Footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself into police does not exist. The footage simply does not exist anymore, or maybe it never existed in the first place. You decide. And then she shares a article here. This is from the local Utah CBS station, KUTV. Headline: 2 News investigates, discovers possible missing evidence in Charlie Kirk murder case. Now I'm going to play the local report here as they're trying to get some evidence and some video that should be public domain, and I'll play the local report and tell you the issue they're having there. Here's what I'll say before that. There's a lot of weirdness around the whole Tyler Robinson thing, the entire thing. His activities before, his activities the day of, and whatever led him to getting turned in and ultimately arrested. The whole thing is very strange, to say the least. And there are things that you think would be easily answered or easily accessible. And the local news is finding out, not so much. Not so much. Now, this is all very reminiscent of something that happened in 2016 for me, but I'll hold off for that for now. Let's go to the local CBS News report. So the Charlie Kirk assassination discussion is now going into the mainstream with things that I guess people are just scratching their heads at, saying, how can this be?
Rudy Bautista is a Rule 8 attorney, qualifications only select number of defense attorneys in Utah have in order to defend cases with a capital offense, some involving a possible death penalty. He's not affiliated with the case involving Tyler Robinson, who's accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk back in September. I showed him what I found that could indicate there's potential missing evidence in the case.
He said, hey, I know who Charlie Kirk's shooter is.
On September 17th, 2025, Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby held a press conference.
Our job was not to interview. Our job was just to get him here.
After Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter was taken into custody in Washington County less than 2 days after the shooting.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives.
After learning of this, I submitted a public records request to obtain any video of Tyler Robinson walking into the jail facility. Washington County responded saying there were no records responsive to the request, as Robinson did not go to the jail area. Our request for any holding room video was denied. A few weeks later, I re-upped the request on a more generalized scale for surveillance video showing Tyler Robinson walking into the sheriff's office.
For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available.
The response? Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period.
If, in fact, it has been destroyed and not preserved, it's very concerning. And if it has, then it's very concerning that they're telling you they don't have it. If they no longer have it, I would have expected to say that this video has been provided to the Utah County law enforcement. Please contact them.
Missing video footage or footage that never existed? I don't see any other scenarios here. That's what you get. Either the footage never existed or for whatever reason, it's gone. Now, folks, let me tell you what this or maybe better to be said as with the current political players on the field. It's a totally different roster today than there was in 2016. Let's put it that way. The names, the faces, the commentators, everything in political media, totally different today than it was in 2016. I'm one of the few that was there in 2016 that's still around today. So a lot of people may not remember Pizzagate. They may not remember how insane that got, how big that got. And for a minute there, we were basically like Alice in Wonderland. And then it went mainstream. The original Pizzagate investigators, let's say, considered crazy. And then all of a sudden, it got so big, the story got so big, that it became unavoidable even for mainstream press. And so some mainstream press, I think, kind of leaned in to try to disprove it, or leaned in to try to castigate those that were making a big fuss of it out as crazies. And instead, it went a different direction. Instead, Pizzagate, for a moment, went mainstream. And just like this, you had local news reporters picking it up, pointing out stuff that was in the emails and some of the other crazy anomalies. And then there was a major incident, and the whole thing got shut down. And it was like the whole thing got shut down and buried and never to be spoke of again. I feel like we're at that same point with the Charlie Kirk assassination now. It's like, okay, the crazy conspiracy theorist, everything's a conspiracy theory. All right, same usual suspects, everything is a conspiracy theory. Oh, it's the Kirk assassination conspiracy theory. All right. And then eventually it just keeps going, and eventually some other people, some mainstream people, some local news reporters say, you know what, I'm curious, I'm interested, I'm going to investigate this, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to see if I can. And then they are like, maybe there is something here. Maybe there is something here. It's playing out just like Pizzagate did in 2016. So I'm wondering now what's going to come next. So now that you get this new piece of information that they either have no footage of Robinson turning himself in or no footage of Robinson going to the sheriff's office, you have to ask, how is that even possible? How is that even possible? This is Epstein. This is no footage of Epstein in the prison level ridiculous. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, how can you still believe that this is above board? How can you still think that there isn't a massive cover-up going on here? I don't know. Again, I don't know what to believe. I've got things I might think. I'm not ready to commit to saying them on air. That's why I'm just going of, okay, when there's news breaking, I'll tell you. But I'll say this. I'll just reaffirm this for right now, since we are covering it. I still do not believe Tyler Robinson took the shot. I don't.